The purpose of this product demonstration is to show you how the Odoo Shopify connector works in Odoo's version 19. To start, I'm just going to run through a couple of the core functionalities embedded in this connector, and then we'll jump into a workflow. So first, it does support multi-store, so you can have as many stores as you want. The way that you're going to use this is you just go to the sales configuration, and you go here to Shopify accounts, and you can see here I have 2 stores configured, right? To create a store, you can do Shopify Store 3. You can choose your e-commerce channel, which in this case it's Shopify. You can define whether deliveries are handled in Odoo or if they're handled in the e-commerce platform. If they're handled in Odoo, it will create the necessary delivery orders in order for you to fulfill from Odoo, but if it's handled in the e-commerce platform, it won't. As far as connecting your accounts, you can choose OAuth, which is the easiest, provide your Shopify client ID, your client's secret, and you can connect. And once you connect, you'll see that this will go from disconnected to a green connected icon. And I'm actually just going to remove this because I don't want it. And when you are connected, you'll see you have this new operations tab, which becomes available to you. This allows you to manually sync products, orders, locations, pickings, or update inventory. And when you do that, you'll notice all of the data connected to this particular store will be visible or available to you here. Now, you're probably thinking, I don't want to manually update things, and you don't have to. When you go and you look at your scheduled actions, you'll see that this connector comes with some created scheduled actions where you can sync sale orders. In this case, if you want to update it to every minute, you can. Update inventory every minute, you can. And lastly, update your pickings every minute, you can. These are essentially just scheduled to run, in this case, like a cron every minute, and it will take the action of syncing things for you. I'm going to revert back to using the manual sync just because to prove points in real time, which is my goal here. I want to be able to show you that. As far as the configuration goes, assign a salesperson, sales team, and a stock location that will serve as the location related or dedicated to this store. And you have some default products listed here just to help you get started. Now, let's start by connecting a product so I can show you how these two things work. So in Odoo, if we want to create a product, we'll call this test 01234. And just keep it simple, we can say we want to track inventory, and I'll assign the SKU 01234. Now, when I go into Shopify, I would add the same product. I could say test 01234, and I can add a SKU 01234 and save it. And let's say I also want to have a sales price of $2,500 here. Now, when I go to the sync page for my accounts, here I can click operations, and you'll see right now there are 5 offers or products that I have connected. When I update my fetch product, it will update that to 6. And you can see what happens is the connector looks at what you have in Shopify, in this case, test 01234, and it matches the SKU in Odoo. And it says, okay, I think these 2 products are related. And it makes the connection, and it relates the IDs, and it also allows you to get the link to go right back into that product you just created in Shopify. If for whatever reason you don't like the way that it's synced or the logic, you want to deviate from the logic of the system, you can manually assign the product that you want to relate to the product in Odoo. So you have complete flexibility there. Now, let's go through and let's procure something. So if we go into our products page here and we look, I have this product called Finished Good, and I have nothing in stock. Now, let's say that this is a product I manufacture on the Odoo side. So if I go in and I manufacture my finished good, you'll see I consume my raw materials. Very simple workflow just for the sake of the demo. I produce all. You can see I have 1 product move where I consumed 2 raw materials into production, and I moved 1 finished good into stock. And when I go to my inventory and I look at my reporting in stock, you can see for finished good, I have 1 unit on hand, right? So now when I go, and again, I'm going to manually sync my account just for the sake of speed here. When I update my inventory, you'll see it will complete the update. And when I go back into Shopify, you can see I now have one unit available here, which shows you that this syncs in real time. So as I manufacture things and I procure them into my stock location, that stock location is connected to my that location is connected to that store account. It will sync everything in real time. And when I go and I want to sell this, let's create the order and let's sell a finished good, the one unit I have available, and we'll sell it to a random customer called John Doe. And I'm just gonna, again, for the sake of making this fast, I'm gonna enter the order through the back end, create it and mark it as paid, which will give me a confirmed order that's paid but unfulfilled in Odoo. And now when I go back here, you'll see 6 orders, but when I fetch orders, you'll see I now have 7 orders. And when I go in, you can see I have it's 610, which it's 610. I have a finished good order, 1 unit, and I have my totals set up there. When I go into inventory, you can see I have down here an order for sale order 9, John Doe, finished good, again 610. When I validate this, it's going to tell me Shopify requires a tracking reference, right? Because the way that Shopify works is they're going to want to see a tracking and they're going to want to know when you fulfilled it on your end. So what'll happen is, just again, for the sake of the demo, I'll provide a dummy carrier and tracking reference. And when I validate this, it will then tell me, okay, it's all set, it's shipped, it's just waiting for the sync. Again, I don't have to wait for that manual sync. I can also just push it and update right away to e-commerce. And when I do that, you'll see instantly my tracking number makes its way into Shopify and the order becomes marked as fulfilled and it is set to go. So my customer would then have their tracking information and that order update, as well as the actual link to the tracking, which, had this been a real tracker, it would have given me a link. It would provide all that information directly to your customer via their Shopify portal, as well as through an email. Okay, so that is how a simple order flow works in Shopify. I guess you'd probably want to see how it would work in a second store. So what I've done is I have another store. I have store 2. And when I go into store 2, you'll see I only have one product here called JMac, 119 in stock. When I go to my orders, let's again create another order. I'll sell my 1 unit of JMac, or 119. Let's sell 9 units to get this down to 105. I can sell to Dan Rice. And again, mark as paid. It will create the order. And now when I go to my accounts, you'll see if I go to Shopify here, 7 orders, I can fetch my order. It's not going to update to 7 because it isn't related to the store. But when I go to 2 and I fetch my order, that will create the second order for Dan Rice. And now when I go to my orders here, I can also group by my sales team, which I have all my orders in Shopify. If I had set the sales team on store 2 to something other than Shopify, I could have Shopify sales team 2. It would slice and dice those for me. But as far as the order itself goes, this is the order I just created with 9 units. When I go to the delivery, same concept. I can set the carrier, set a tracking. I can check the availability. If I had the 9 units in stock, it would tell me I do. And that's because I'm looking at the wrong location, which is something I want to mention. Actually, it's store 2 location, which then it will allow me to ship from there. And again, I can update to e-commerce. And when I go back, you'll see it's marked as fulfilled with the tracking number and everything provided. The locations are really up to you to set. So if you, again, just to revisit that, it's all defined here. So you can see that location is Shopify store 2. That's, again, if you want to have everything managed out of one stock location, you're free to just have all of your stores assigned to one stock location, and anything within that location or any of the sub-locations within that location will roll up and be available to you to ship for orders that are being created from that store. But if you want to have specific locations for specific stores, you have all of those configuration options as well. And you can always assign locations here as you want if you want to get more specific. So let's go back to my thing. So I went through product sync, I went through order sync, which includes, address, line items, pricing, discounts, all those details. I went through inventory sync. I went through fulfillment. So you saw how to fulfill things from Odoo. You saw pickings, how they're scheduled, and how you can automatically push all of the tracking information upstream in order to have everything available to customers in their portal. So just to reiterate, we talked about multi-store support. I showed you guys the two stores. Order flow, we talked about Shopify checkout to Odoo pick movements. So I showed you those delivery orders being created and how we can execute them. And lastly, the inventory sync, I showed you specifically how you can see Odoo a manual adjustment, which in this case would just be receiving stock, or manufacturing orders can update Shopify stock levels. So again, if you want to, I didn't show exactly how you can purchase something, but if you want to just like receive something here, we can receive from this customer the product JMac into our Shopify 2, and we can receive, say, 1,000 units if we want, and mark to do, and validate. Again, when I go to my accounts and I sync those that inventory, you'll see when I go to my products here, you'll see it will update in just a second to 1,000. And just give it a second. Sometimes it takes. And location. There it is, 1,110 units on hand. So, okay, I know that was a lot of information. If you have any more questions or you want to learn more, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen.